We have talked already about the excellence of Hajj in Friday khutbah, so we'll just start talking about the fiqh of Hajj, or as we call it, Hajj step by step. Let me start by saying that there are three kinds of ihram that you'll hear about so much, so just to make sure that nobody's confused, we'll talk about these three different kinds of ihram, and they are all related to Hajj and Umrah together. So, this one kind of ihram is called al-ifrad. Ifrad comes from the word fard. Fard means one, right? Single. So ifrad, it means you are doing just Hajj. No Umrah is attached to this Hajj. You are just doing Hajj, you're not doing Umrah at all. And this is, by the way, for the people who live in Al-Haram area, they are not allowed to do tamattu or Quran that we'll talk about. They just go and make Hajj by making ihram, going to Mina, Arafat, and so on. We'll talk about this in detail. So the first kind of ihram is called ifrad. Ifrad means Hajj alone, no Umrah, right? The second kind of ihram is called tamattu. And the word tamattu linguistically means enjoyment. And what does this mean? It means that you go first and make complete Umrah. You start with ihram, you make tawaf and sa'i, cut or shorten your hair, and get out of this ihram. Khalas, you're done with the Umrah. And after a few days, you start a new ihram for Hajj, right? And the time between the two ihrams called tamattu. So you have complete Umrah, and then you have another new ihram for Hajj. Is this clear? So for those who are there now, think about those who arrived today to Mecca. What do? The first thing they do is to make Umrah, right? Can they stay with their ihram until day of Arafah and Eid? It's too hard, right? So they don't have to do that. So once they're done with Umrah, khalas, they are out of ihram, and inshallah on the day of Arafah or the day of Tarwiyah, they start a new ihram for Hajj. So it's called tamattu because between Umrah and Hajj there is time when you don't have to wear the ihram, and you have everything that was prohibited while you're in ihram, you can enjoy while you're out of ihram. So ifrad is Hajj only, tamattu, complete Umrah, break, and then a new ihram for Hajj, right? So two ihrams and break in between. The third kind is called qiran. And the word qiran linguistically also means joining, which means that you can do Umrah and Hajj with the same ihram, because there's no time for you to have a break. So those who go to Mecca on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, they go and make Umrah, and right after they're done with the Umrah, they go to Mina, and next day Arafat, and then Muzdalifah, and then so on. So there's no time for them, and there's no need for them to take a break in between. One ihram for two rituals, for Umrah and Hajj. The Umrah and Hajj merge with each other. It looks like one thing, one ihram, right? So one is ifrad, Hajj only. Tamattu, two ihram and break in between. And the third one is called qiran, when the Umrah and Hajj, they come together with the same ihram. Any question here before we move on, because everything will be built around this. If these three kind of ihram clear? All right. Which one is better? If you read the four madhahib, everybody has a different opinion. Imam Shafi'i said qiran and tamattu are better than ifrad, because ifrad you are doing just Hajj, but the other two kinds, they include Hajj and Umrah together. Other madhab said no, ifrad is better because you need to come back for Umrah. Others said no, qiran is better because this is what Rasulullah did. Right? Interestingly, talk about the Hajj of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What happened is, as you know, he was in Medina and he started his talbiyah or ihram right out of the boundaries of Medina, and Abiyah. Right? So from this moment all the way to Mecca, Sahaba said that we have no idea that we are going to perform Umrah, we're just going for Hajj. Umrah was not at all in our intention. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to Mecca and he made tawaf and sa'i, he looked around and found out that some people have their wives with them, and it will be very difficult for them to wait until the time of Hajj. So he said, whoever does not have animals, hadi, sacrifice, now get out of your ihram and consider what you have done is umrah. The tawaf and the sa'i, that's enough for you. And keep your sacrifice, don't sacrifice now. For those who do not have sacrifice, he told them, consider what you have done umrah, get out of your ihram, enjoy your time until the new ihram comes. Tamattu'. But he sallallahu did not do that, because he had the animals and he intended to not to slaughter or to sacrifice these animals until the day of Eid comes. So he sallallahu himself, what kind of hajj he performed, what kind of ihram he performed? Qiran, right? Because he did not get out of his hajj, of his ihram. But the rest of the majority of the Sahaba said, we are not here for Umrah, we thought we were here for Hajj. But Rasulullah told them, it's easier for you, just get out of the ihram, and so on, right? So interestingly, when Ali ibn Abi Talib came from Yemen, Rasulullah sent him to Yemen to bring more camels, and he came a little late. And he came and he found his wife, Fatima Zahra, out of her ihram. And I said, what is this? She said, Rasulullah told us that. And he went to Rasulullah and said, yes, I told them to get out of the ihram. So for the Sahaba, it was tamattu', because they broke or got out of the ihram, and then they started a new ihram later on, right? But Rasulullah himself and some of the other Sahaba who had these animals, they did not come out of their ihram. So for them it was Qiran, right? All right. These, the first thing we do, how many of you will do tamattu' and how many of you will do Qiran? It depends on your arrival time to Mecca. Who will go to Mecca before the 8th of the Hijjah? Okay. And the rest will go to Mecca on the day of the 8th or 9th? So, for those of you who are going to arrive to Mecca on the 8th of the Hijjah, any idea how many people? What I know is that everybody in Medina, who's going to Medina first? Raise your hand for going to Medina first. So the majority are going to Medina first. So for those who are going to Mecca first, what is the date of your arrival to Mecca? Tell me your date.
15.
15? No, tell me about the Hijjah. Forget about September.
Second.
This will be second.
I think third.
So you will go to second or third of the Hijjah. Then you obviously are going to do tamattu', because you cannot keep ihram for the whole week. So you're doing tamattu', right? For those who are going to Mecca first, any date?
10th September will start from here.
Excuse me?
10th September will start from here.
Oh, you're going very early. So you're going directly to Jeddah and then Mecca? Okay, so you will do Umrah first, then take a break, enjoy praying in Al-Haram, and then you make a new ihram on the 8th of the Hajj, right? So you're doing tamattu' basically. So I would say most of you are doing tamattu'. I cannot imagine any of you doing just ifrad, right? Right? So you're doing Umrah and Hajj. And since most of you will arrive to Mecca before the 8th of the Hijjah, the day before Arafah, then you most likely will do tamattu'. Are we in agreement here?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So by doing tamattu', we'll talk about two things separate. We'll talk about Umrah and then we'll talk about Hajj, right? So, inshallah, the first thing you need to do is, of course, ihram. For Umrah, for your Umrah to be complete, you need to do a number of things. One is the niyyah, which is an ihram. Ihram is niyyah, by the way. Number 2, tawaf. Number 3, sa'i between Safa and Marwa. And number 4, to shave. Or for the sisters, only they gather, collect their hair and just cut like something similar to the an inch or so, the fingertip. All right? That's all. So now your Umrah is complete. If you do these 4 things. Ihram from Miqat, we'll talk about this, and then Tawaf, Sa'i, and Halq or Taqsir of your hair. Now you are out of your Umrah, you can go to your hotel, change your clothes. All things that were prohibited, now they are allowed. You can apply perfume, you can wear regular clothes, husband and wife can have intimate relationship, all these kind of things, which were not allowed in Ihram. Alright, so let's talk about this quickly and then we'll go all the way to the 8th, 9th, 10th of the Hajj. These are the most important days, right? So, you are going, inshallah, it depends on where you are coming from. So if you are coming from Jordan, for example, or you start by Egypt, and then you fly, or Frankfurt, no matter where you're coming from, on the air flight, you have to be ready for Ihram when you arrive to the miqat. Let me go quickly to the miqat to just, where is the miqat? We passed the miqat. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright, because I used to have a picture of the miqat. So, the miqat is the point at which you have to make your ihram. So if you are in Medina, for example, you are taking the bus or a car, and then you get out, right out of Medina, there's a place called Abiyar Ali. This is the miqat for the people who are coming to Mecca from Medina. If I'm coming from the north, there is another miqat, right? And every place or every direction has a miqat. So the area of Al-Haram is a huge area. It's not just Al-Masjid Al-Haram. Al-Haram, the word Al-Haram means the prohibited, the area in which it's prohibited to hunt, kill any animal, cut any tree. You are not allowed to do this. The whole area is called Haram, right? It takes like 6 hours by bus. It's a huge area. It's not just Mecca and the area around it, right? So you need to be ready, put your ihram on in the airport, and then you get on board, and then they will announce now it's only 10 minutes left or 15 minutes left for the miqat, get ready. And once you enter the miqat, they will announce on the airplane that it is the miqat now. And this is when you start saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik, right? There's no room to pray 2 rak'ah, you don't have to, or you can make 2 rak'ah when you arrive, inshallah. But this is when your ihram starts. So you put your ihram earlier to get ready. When you arrive to the miqat, you make your niyyah, say labbaik Allahumma umrah. Labbaik Allahumma umrah, because this is your intention now. متمتعا بها إلى الحج. This is what we need to say. لبيك اللهم عمرة. Okay. متمتعا بها إلى الحج. Which means لبيك اللهم عمرة, and my intention is to make Hajj after the tamattu. So Umrah, tamattu, and then Hajj. Right? This, you're going to this place for making Umrah followed by Hajj. Right? You need to say that. Alright. Now you arrive to the miqat, you start saying لبيك اللهم لبيك. We all know what to say, right? And the Rasulullah ﷺ gave us the good news that everything that hears you saying talbiyah will reply with you, will say that talbiyah with you, and they will witness. Or in the other hadith, they will witness to you the day of judgment. And Rasulullah also said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, مَا لَبَّى مُلَبِّنْ وَلَا كَبَّرَ مُكَبِّرْ إِلَّا بُشِّرْ. Every time you make talbiyah or takbir, then someone will say, have the bushra, have the good news. Have the good news. Abshir. Abshir in Arabic means have the good news. Of what, Ya Rasulullah? Said of al-Jannah. Right? So, talbiyah is part of the ibadah. The best Hajj, Rasulullah said, خَيْرُ الْحَجْ الْعَجْ وَالثَّجْ. Now you can see the similarity between these 3 words. Hajj, Hajj starts with Ha, Ajj, Thajj. The best Hajj is the Ajj, to raise your voice for brothers, to raise your voice with talbiyah, and Thajj is to sacrifice fi sabilillah in the day of Eid. So you start your ihram. Let's talk a little bit about ihram. What is ihram? Ihram is the state in which certain things that have been usually permissible, now it becomes impermissible, right? When we talk about ihram, we talk about not only about the clothes, we talk about the niyyah, we talk about taking a shower before you start your ihram. If you are in Medina, for example, that's very easy. You can take a shower in your hotel, put your clothes on, get in your bus, go to the miqat, pray 2 rak'ah there, and start your talbiyah from the miqat, right? And then you go all the way to Mecca. When you're in the state of ihram, can we, when you take a shower for ihram, can we apply perfume or deodorant? Yes, you can. This is what Rasulullah did. Aisha said, I saw the misk in the head of the Prophet while he was in ihram. So you put it before his ihram. After a shower, you can apply deodorant or even perfume for men. Even if the scent stayed after ihram, that's okay, no problem with that. So after this, you are not allowed to apply perfume again. You are not allowed to clip your nails or remove any of your hair or to kill any animals or insects, except, the ulama said, except scorpion, snake, and all these harmful things. Other than this, you are not allowed to kill anything. You are not allowed to argue or fight, right? Unless it's your right, I mean, someone's stealing you, something like this. Avoid any vain talk or any sins or anything but dhikr from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course, husband and wife are not allowed to have any sexual relationship in the ihram. This is the most, tremendous problem that anybody can do, because this means that your Hajj is null. You have to redo it next year. So, this is the ihram talbiyah. We chant the talbiyah. For the sisters, they don't have to raise their voice, just to raise it enough for them to hear themselves. Now, before we go to the 8th of the Hajj, now we are done with the ihram, and from the miqat, keep saying talbiyah until you arrive to al-Masjid al-Haram. Some people, they go first until to get their luggage and things, that's fine. If you are hungry, get some food, get some rest if you want. And then you go to Al-Masjid Al-Haram. It is the sunnah to start by the tawaf. Of course, there's a beautiful dua you say when you enter Al-Masjid Al-Haram, right? Allahumma anta as-salam wa minka as-salam, fahayyina rabbana bis-salam, wa adkhilna al-jannah dar as-salam, a'udhu billahi al-azim wa wajhi al-kareem wa sultan al-qadim min ash-shaytan al-rajim. Plenty of du'as you can find in these booklets of dua and Hajj and Umrah. Then you enter, the first thing you need to do is to make tawaf, right? And tawaf starts from al-Hajar al-Aswad, the black stone. Since we're talking about tawaf, can someone help me just take this away and turn the light so we can show how to make tawaf, please? Yeah, if you can please just push this back. It's not very difficult. Do we have the wireless? Do we have the wireless microphone? It's not here. Wait until they push the other one. It'll make it easier for you. So we have our own Kaaba here. I have to say that this is not a real Kaaba. Obviously, I don't know how far this can go. Do I need this? Can you hear me, right? Okay, we don't have this microphone. All right. So the first thing you need to do is to find the black stone. There are four corners of the Kaaba, as you can see. This corner is called Al-Hajar al-Aswad. Hajar al-Aswad will be here. And this corner is called Al-Hijr al-Yamani. Yamani comes from the word Yemen because it goes south to Yemen, right? And these two corners are to be touched. So when you are coming to this area, this corner, it is sunnah to go and try to touch this corner, if you can. But tawaf always start from this point. If you draw a line anywhere, if you are anywhere in the Masjid al-Haram, you have to start from here. If you cannot go and touch it, which is very difficult, right? So you need to point with your hand like this, say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, You can say it 3 times, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And then this is where you start with tawaf, right? When you go around, this counts as 1 round, right? And then you have to do this 7 times. If you got confused, which will happen, you know, especially for those of you who go for the first time, you'll be overwhelmed with the feeling and things. It's always good to be with a group, someone, to remind each other which round is this. But if you are confused, it's 3 or 4, then count it as 3. Go with the lesser number. It is sunnah that the Prophet ﷺ used to go and kiss the black stone and touch it, and he said this is like the right hand of Allah. When you touch it or you kiss it, it is as if you are renewing your covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And Umar radiallahu anhu used to say that I know you are a stone, you don't benefit or harm me, I'm just kissing you because I've seen Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kissing you. It has been also said that it was pure white and came from Jannah and turned black because of the sins of the humans. And if you touch it, it will come in the day of judgment with eyes and tongue speak and witness for you that you honor this black stone. Alright, so the tawaf starts. While you are in tawaf, you need to keep yourself busy with dua, dhikr, glorification of Allah. Say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. You may say any dua you want. Memorize Quranic dua. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Make dua for yourself, for your family, and those who ask you to make dua for. You can read Quran. If you have Mus'haf, you can read Quran. Quran is the best kind of dhikr, right? So you can do all of these things, right? And here in this side, you will find this circle, right? It's called Hijr Ismail. So Hijr Ismail is a half circle. You know, it's part of Al-Kaaba originally. The size of Al-Kaaba used to be much bigger than this. So if you get a chance to pray inside this circle, it is as if you prayed inside Al-Kaaba, right? But the tawaf, however, has to be around this half circle, right? You cannot take a shortcut from here. When you come to this corner again, if you can touch it, fine. If you cannot, then you don't have to, right? Between this corner and this corner, it's sunnah to say رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Imam al-Shafi'i said the best dua you can do while you're doing tawaf is رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. This is what Allah said in the Quran in the context of Al-Hajj. So when you are done with the 7 rounds, if you can stand near the door of Al-Kaaba, or the area between the corner and the door of Al-Kaaba, it's called Al-Hatim, or Al-Multazim, sorry, Al-Multazim. Just go there and make plenty of dua there. Once you are done with the tawaf, and by the way, every time you start, if you are far away from Al-Kaaba, you will see this green sign. This sign indicates the beginning of the new round, or the end of the tawaf, when you're done, right? If you are on the 2nd floor, you will see also sign, green sign. It says here, the tawaf starts, right? It starts here and ends here. When you're done with the 7 rounds, then it is sunnah to go beyond what we know as Maqam Ibrahim. This golden station there, in which there is a stone inside. It has been narrated that Ibrahim a.s. used to stand on it to put the stones of Al-Kaaba when he was building Al-Kaaba. So you can see the footstep of Ibrahim on this stone. You don't have to pray right behind it. This is what many people do, unfortunately. They think they have to, just right behind it, they have to pray. You don't have to do that. You can pray at any point beyond this point. Keep it between you and Al-Kaaba, wherever you are. You cannot find any place because the whole masjid is busy with tawaf. So you have to go as far as you can. Don't bother people. Don't let people step on you while you're praying. You don't want to block the way of the people. So stay far away and keep this station of Ibrahim and pray 2 rak'ah. 2 simple rak'ah. In the first rak'ah, you read Al-Fatiha and قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. In the second, you read Al-Fatiha and قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. And it's sunnah, while or before you start these 2 rak'ahs, you say وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. Right? It says, take this station of Ibrahim as a place of salah. Right? If you remember that. If you don't remember that, that's not a problem. it is highly recommended to pray these 2 rak'ahs after tawaf. Then after tawaf, Rasulullah ﷺ went to Zamzam to drink Zamzam water. Zamzam water is beautiful, and keep in mind that Zamzam water is for what you drink it for. So have a niyyah before you drink Zamzam. The niyyah could be Iman, ask Allah to fill your heart and body with Iman, or Shifa, or wisdom, or knowledge, or protection from the hellfire, whatever niyyah you have in mind. And every time you drink Zamzam, come up with a niyyah, right? Imam Malik, rahimahullah, said that I drink Zamzam water for ilm and I got the ilm. And I wish I drank Zamzam water for taqwa. So this was his niyyah when he was drinking Zamzam water, to get the knowledge, and he was given the knowledge. When we drink Zamzam, there are 3 things you need to keep in mind. Number 1, the sunnah of tadallu. Tadallu means when you drink from Zamzam, you drink until there's no more room in your stomach. The word tadallu means the ribs, until the water goes to your ribs. You fill your body with this water, because it is a sign that Rasulullah said the difference between the munafiq and the believer is tadallu. So the believer believes in it. It's not just taking a sip just to show off. No, he believes that this water is blessed water, and he fills, or she fills her body with this Zamzam water. And then it's sunnah to face the qibla while you're drinking, or after you drink, and then make dua, whatever dua you want to make while facing the qibla. Alright? Right after this, I forgot to say that while you're doing tawaf, you may get tired, or the iqamah will interrupt your tawaf. What do we do at that time? Before even we answer this, keep in mind you have to have wudu. This is something that we have to have tahara. Rasulullah ﷺ said tawaf like salah. But the difference is you can't speak while you are doing tawaf. So when you speak, say nothing but good things. Big dua. You can talk to someone about something else, but keep in mind this is like a form of ibadah. So you have to, if you want to use the bathroom, stop your tawaf, use the bathroom, make wudu, and come back, and you build on what you've already done. You don't have to start from the beginning. Same thing if you got tired. You can't sit down and take a break and then go and continue. If you finish 5, get some rest and then do 2 more. You don't have to start from the beginning. For the ladies who are who do not pray, they cannot do tawaf at that time. This is the thing that they cannot do unless they are out here. Then after drinking Zamzam water, then you need to do sa'i between Safa and Marwa. You don't have to have wudu when you are doing sa'i, but it is always recommended to have wudu when you do all these kind of ibadat, right? But you don't have to. Going to a Safa wal Marwa, if this is the direction, so a Safa will be, let's say, in this station, and Marwa will be in the opposite. So we'll be going back and forth 7 times. The sunnah is to stand at a Safa facing the Qibla, right, and recite this ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, إِنَّ الصَّفَا وَالْمَرْوَةَ مِنْ شَعَائِرِ اللَّهِ فَمَنْ حَجَّ الْبَيْتَ أَوْ اعْتَمَرَ فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما ومن تطوع خيرا فإن الله شاكر عليم. Surah Al-Baqarah. Right? And if you're in a group, usually the group leader will remind you with these beautiful verses. Face the Qibla while you are on Jabal As-Safa and make plenty of dua. There is beautiful dua that we should always say. لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. And then say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, and any dua you want to make. Then you start going down and walk all the way to the other side, which is Al-Marwa. When you arrive to Al-Marwa, you need to do the same thing. You are please standing on Al-Marwa, the other side, facing the Qibla also. Make dua, glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then you go from Al-Marwa back to As-Safa. And these count as 1 or 2? There are 2, right? I've seen people doing this 14 times. They consider it 2 ways, like count as 1. That's wrong. Every time you go from one station to the other, it counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You start in a Safa and eventually you'll end at Al-Marwa, right? you will notice that there are green sign or green sign that in which for men they can do ramal. Ramal means something or a kind of walk between running and walking. It's not walking, it's not running, it's something in between, like this. Right? Don't run very fast, okay? But you don't want to hit anybody. It's not a marathon, you're not going to get any prize. You don't have to run because you don't want to hurt anybody. It's not a fast. You'll see people running very fast. And you know the story. I don't have to remind you the story of Hajar alayhi salam, who was going between these two hills, trying to find any help because her baby Ismail alayhi salam was there and run out of food and water, and this was a barren place. No food, no drink, nothing, no life. And she goes on the top of this hill looking for anybody passing by or a caravan or travelers. Nobody. And she goes back and forth and back and forth. Between these two green signs, she used to go further to see, and you know the story, and then Zamzam water came and so on. So again, while you are doing some dua, dhikr, Quran recitation, always keep your tongue busy with dhikr and dua, right? And then you will do the same thing when you go back to Safa. You face the Qibla, make this dua, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, anjaza wa'dah, and so on, and make any dua you want, glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then you go back to Al-Marwa and so on. When you finish the 7 rounds at Al-Marwa, this is when you need to make a long dua. Rasulullah stood there and faced the Qibla and made a long dua, because this is almost the last thing you do in your Umrah, right? So you will see people standing in groups and making long dua, and this is a good time when you're done with your ihram and tawaf and sa'i, and this is almost the last thing you do before the halq. You face the Qibla and make plenty of dua, make a long dua. Now, the only thing left is either to shave or to shorten, right? لقد صدق الله رسوله الرؤيا بالحق سورة الفتح لتدخلن المسجد الحرام إن شاء الله أمين وحلقين رؤوسكم ومقصرين. Some of you, Rasulullah saw that in his dream that he's doing Umrah and some of the Sahaba are shaving and some of them are shortening, right? Of course, shaving is better, especially if you're doing Hajj for the first time, but shortening is also sunnah. If you use the machine, that's not shaving. You know, shaving is shaving, like as soft as this, so nothing stays. You know, you use the razor and when you go to these stores, they will ask you halq or taqsir. Then you have to tell them what you want, right? Anyways, and for the sisters again, just they collect their hair and they cut the end of it. By doing that, you are done with your Umrah, khalas, you're out of your ihram, you go to your hotel, change your clothes, you can do everything that you couldn't do while you are in the state of ihram. We are done with the Umrah. Any question before we talk about Hajj, the days of Hajj? Any question regarding Umrah?
Doing tawaf, it is prayer time, then you stop tawaf and doing prayer.
Yes. Everybody will stop, and the good thing is that during Tawaf and Sa'i, wherever you are, in Masjid Haram, you see these lines that shows you where the Qibla is. So you stop, you freeze, and then face the Qibla and follow the Imam and do the Salah, and then after Salah you continue what you were doing. Usually it's a Janazah Salah, usually, so don't rush. So finish, and they said, As-salatu al-amwat yarhamukumullah, As-salatu al-mayyit yarhamukumullah. So they make this announcement. It takes about maybe less than a minute, and then they start Salat al-Janazah. You pray Janazah, and then you continue.
Is the shower necessary before ihram?
It's not a must. It is sunnah to take shower before ihram. Again, the whole idea is purity, cleanliness, very important. Rasulullah one day saw someone walking and very tired, and people holding him. He said, what's the matter with this man? He said he made a vow that he will walk, he will not ride. No. Ask him to ride. Allah does not need, him to do this to himself. So, especially when you have all these big numbers of people, if everybody pays attention to his or her, cleanliness, personal hygiene and things like that, that would be good for everybody. So like we do before Salah, before this ibadah we do ghusl, right?
So, can we kill a mosquito while in the stomach?
No.
And
I don't think a mosquito would tolerate the weather phase, so don't worry about don't worry about.
by accident if it does happen.
No, if it happened by accident, it's different. But intentionally, no. The whole idea is that you live in peace with yourself and peace with all insects and bugs and anything that can really. You don't want to just think about this concept of peace.
So, the last question about the Asbar. Will it also be a witness for those who could just do the Istilam?
No, those who point also.
Okay.
The footprint?
Where?
The footwear. Oh, okay, the footwear. You can wear anything except a shoes, like the shoe that covers your heel. So something like this would be okay as long as this area is not covered, right? Obviously for the ladies, their ihram is different from men. So men have to wear these two white pieces, but for ladies, they can wear anything they want, but they cannot wear a glove or cover their face. These are the two things that they cannot do. And I'm sure in Saudi Arabia, it's kind of interesting because for them, covering face is a must. It's a wajib. Even in ihram, Rasulullah said that you don't cover it. But they said, yeah, but Aisha radiallahu anha said that when men pass by us, we just cover until they pass and then we uncover again. Now, if a woman wants to do this, always in the airplane, everywhere, in Masjid al-Haram, are always men. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I mean, Rasulullah did not separate men from women in a place where are plenty of people doing ibadah, tawaf. Never said men only or women only. Alhamdulillah, they are working now on expanding the Masjid al-Haram, so we don't have this tightness, which bothers people, but until this happens, inshallah, just patiently, we go with the crowd.
So, I'm still not clear, for men, what about the bone on the front? Sorry, red on the
No.
nose, is that?
Doesn't have to be covered, no. Doesn't have to be covered, yes.
After the Umrah, the ladies have to cut their hair. Do they get to leave the stage of the Ihram and wear the sister's hair, or they have to be on the stage of the Ihram and cut each other's hair?
No, once you're done with your sa'i, you can do this to each other.
The
Khalas.
same with men too?
Huh?
The same with men too?
Yes, because, yeah.
And another question sister wants to ask is, when you're doing the
Tawaf.
tawaf, if you get a chance, can you read the Nafil Namaz in the Hadith?
If you're lucky.
During,
No, but this is different from Maqam Ibrahim.
Yes, it is. During
It's
the
different.
tawaf, yes.
During the tawaf, yeah, you can take a break,
During
sneak in, pray to rak'ah, and then, but you have to get out and continue.
So during the Ihram, can you do
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. If you're lucky, if you can get a space inside and pray to rak'ah inside the hatim, that would be great. Yes?
How much does you have to give? Huh?
Okay, good.
How much does you have to give?
All right. The word dam for our community is a big issue. So now someone raised this question. If you are doing tamattu al-Quran, in other words, you're doing Hajj and Umrah together, then you have to do sacrifice. Right? And this is clear. So if you are, I would argue everybody's doing tamattu. So then you have to either pay a check, and this is it's called like wikala.
How much amount?
I don't know. Every year it goes up.
Oh, you go.
It's like the price of a sheep, basically. So in the old days, people used to go and pick an animal and they sacrifice it, and it takes the whole day. All right. Now they have these agents, right? So you give them a permission or what do you call it, power of attorney, to do this on your behalf, right? Okay. So it's called wikala in Islam. So it's perfectly fine. So you give them the money, he will give you a receipt, and that's it. On the day of Eid, or the second or third day, it depends on their schedule, they will do this on your behalf, and then they collect this meat, freeze it, and send it to those who are in need. So you are not going to see the animals, you're not going to bother by love and cooking and all these things. you will not see it, but it depends on your intention, right? So let's ask what Umrah will come to for Hajj.
What about the garment that we do if we make a mistake during the process of Umrah or Hajj?
Okay, in general, there is something called pillars or fard. If you miss one of these, the whole Umrah or the whole Hajj is gone. Like Arafah, someone missed Arafah, forget about it. Or if you did Arafah and you forgot the Tawaf, Tawaf al-Hajj, Tawaf al-Ifadah, your Hajj is not complete. You have to do it next year, right? But there are things that if you missed, you can make it up with them. Such as what? Ihram, right? You did Ihram, someone was in Haram and he went there as a driver, for example. And he had no intention to. But he found out, you know what, I can make it. So he did not start Ihram from that time. Or he violated the Ihram. All right? Anything other than the husband-wife relationship. There's nothing can replace it. But if someone, for example, killed an animal or intentionally or applied perfume and stuff like that, then he has to make it up for them. If someone he forgot or could not do the jamarat when talking about Hajj. So these are wajib, the fard and then wajib. The wajib can be made up by them, but the fard cannot be replaced with anything else.
What if you curse or become angry? Will that take you out of
No, if you get angry, just take a shower or make wudu, but you don't have to do anything other than this. You don't have to make them for this. I know some they are very strict with them, so you end up, sacrificing 100 sheep. Everything done. Yes.
When I Umrah, if I forget 7 times, 5 times, or 6 times, I forget.
You count the list number. If 6 or 7, consider it 6. Or 5 or 6, consider it 5. Right? Like we do this in Salah. If you are in prayer, you are praying Dhuhr. Let's say you are praying Dhuhr. And you don't know, this is the 3rd or the 4th. Consider it 3 and then make sujood sahwi later on. You build on the list numbers. Right? And by the way, some people, they sell this tasbih has only 7 pieces. So 1. Buy it. If you found it, if you are going to Medina first, maybe Mecca first, you will find this very small tasbih has only 7 pieces. So you do 1. And then you do tawaf, and then make the 2nd, and so on. If you have a friend with you, so he's a 3rd, right? Oh yeah, the 3rd. All right.
So I have a question, sorry. You said to do 2 rakat after behind the Ibrahim Salah. After that, you drink Zamzam, and
Right.
then you do another 2 rakat?
No.
Okay.
You
so
don't have to
it's
do
just
another
that
practice.
too.
Yes.
Do you have to prepare the room before? Is it ready?
Well, preparing well is always recommended whether you're going for Hajj or not. Rasulullah ﷺ says that you should not, sleep without having your well with you. So, but people always connect writing the well before Hajj, which is good, but we should not wait until we make Hajj to write all of them. Right? In general, we should keep our well. Or the fard? Or still in Umrah. Are you talking about Umrah or Hajj? We'll come for Hajj now. All right. Well, let's answer a question related to Umrah. Yes.
For Agra Zamzam, there are things that you have to face Kaaba and you have to drink when you're standing.
Well, you don't have to drink while standing. You are allowed to drink while you're standing. I mean, sometimes I heard so much big fuss about you have to sit down and drink. I mean, there are hadith. Some Sahaba saw the Prophet drinking while standing. Other hadith was drinking while sitting. So it's not a big deal. But it's a sunnah. One of the adab of drinking water is to face the Qibla while you are drinking and then make whatever dua you want. Right? Okay?
In that big crowd, how will we find which corner has, how will we find the Hijaz? Like, how will we start our dua?
Okay, you will not miss it for a simple reason. You find all people with you raising their hands, say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You'll find out. And in addition to this green light in the corner of everywhere in the masjid. So you'll see this green. By the way, for those of you who did Hajj or Umrah, maybe 7 years ago or older, they used to have this brown line, and they removed it, right? And I'm glad they did, because while people are doing tawaf, everybody's eager to see the green line, or the brown line. So they would, block the people, and people stumble, and so they removed it just to have a sign in the. And of course, the door of Al-Kaaba is obvious, so you will not miss it. When you see people doing this and saying Allahu Akbar, this is the sign. All right.
You wrote down arrival tawaf.
Yes.
Is that different from the?
Well, the tawaf we just talked about Umrah has 3 names.
Okay.
All right.
So
it's called tawaf al-qudum, or arrival. It has another name, tawaf al-umrah, or tawaf al-ziyarah. 3 names to the same tawaf. Ziyarah, visit; arrival, al-qudum, al-umrah, because this is tawaf al-umrah. The first tawaf you do is called tawaf al-qudum, or al-ziyarah. The Hajj tawaf, those called tawaf al-ifada. Right? Tawaf al-ifada, which is one of the pillars of Hajj. We'll talk about that. All right? So now we're done with our Umrah, alhamdulillah, and we enjoy our time there. And then on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, this is when the real business of Hajj will start. All right.
Just one question before you go on the Hajj.
Okay.
What I heard was that it's not right to look at Kaaba while you do your tawaf.
I wish someone tells me where they get this from.
I have been hearing everywhere.
I heard the same thing over and over and over again. I don't know why. No.
It was in a couple of weeks ago, there was another session in another masjid. The imam there said these things about covering the front of the foot. Not covering the front of the foot, and also not pushing the middle.
Well, let me tell you where this idea comes from. My understanding is that you cannot cover your toes, basically, right? It's all coming from the misunderstanding of the idea of the clothes that you can or you cannot wear while you're in ihram. So, the whole idea is not to wear anything that's attached to fit your body, like the clothes we have now, right? It's made with a specific size to cover our body, right? So the idea is to just wrap ourselves with these 2 pieces of clothes. Again, to make everybody equal and to humble ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to remember death and so on. Does this apply to your watch, your sunglasses, your shoes, and your belt, the backpack you carry? No, because none of these are clothes, right? You can keep your ring, your watch, although I don't recommend wearing a watch because you can hurt someone else in this thing. You don't need time anyways. You're going with a group. But you're allowed to keep your ring, your watch, your belt, and your shoes, even if it's attached like this one, for example. Right? Because what's not allowed is to wear snatched clothes. None of these are clothes. And of course you cannot cover your head. I forgot to say that. You cannot cover your head at all. Right? Unless you're on the bus or really hot and you have an umbrella, it's not clothes. You're protecting yourself. Right? So some say no, your belt must be like this. You cannot wear any belt that has starch in it. So it has to be something like this. Come on, that's not clothes. You are allowed to have any kind of belt to keep your izar on, right? Your bag, you can carry your bag, of course, starch. So it would be ideal to wear a slipper, not a shoes. But what if you don't have a slipper? Rasulullah ﷺ said you can wear a shoes, like any shoes you are wearing, but you have to keep your heel uncovered, the heel. So, in other words, you have to keep your heel on the part in the back, right? So, slipper is better, right? But if you don't have a slipper, then you can wear a shoes with this condition. It is clear. Not looking to Al-Kaaba, I never find any hadith. In fact, there's another hadith goes the opposite, that says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends 120 mercies every day in Al-Kaaba. 60 of them goes to those who make tawaf, 40 goes to those who pray, and 20 goes to those who look at Al-Kaaba. If looking at Al-Kaaba with respect, with love, it's a form of ibadah. You know? So, but maybe they are concerned about not going in the. When we are doing tawaf, we go the opposite of the anti-clockwise. So maybe that's why they just want to make sure that you just keep going. Nobody can go in the opposite direction. It would be very unlikely, right? So, but no, you can't look at Al-Kaaba unless there's a hadith says so. Show me this hadith, I will follow it. I've never seen any hadith saying that. All right.
So the slipper has to be like flip-flop?
It doesn't have to be flip-flop. That's why people still they still very well. Because this is another misconception. It doesn't have to be flip-flop. Right? Any brand is okay. All right, let's go to the 8th of the Hijjah, because we have only 7 minutes for Isha, and we'll come back after Isha, inshallah. Okay, we're done with these things. Okay, the 8th of the Hijjah. How about breaking down?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
So the Iqamah is 9:30, so I have only 5 minutes.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu